You're listening to The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Real stories, powerful insights, and weekly inspiration to help you rise above life's challenges. Let's lift off with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In Nebraska, it's a beautiful Saturday, and I hope you are just absolutely enjoying the weather and having a great time. I am so excited to welcome you all to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters today, where I get the opportunity to bring inspiring people onto this show who, in my opinion, are very inspirational people who have demonstrated to me and a lot of other people by so many different accounts that they have the ability to motivate others and inspire others. And today, I'm really excited to bring the guest who I have on my show today. This is a guy who... And, you know, I usually start out with giving flowers, and so I hope he doesn't mind this. I'm just going to shower him with some praise here at the beginning of this. But this guy right here, when I first came to Lincoln back in 2001, this was honestly one of my first friends in Lincoln. And, you know, I met him at a barber shop, and I was looking for a place to get my hair cut. And this guy was just so kind. Every single time I walked in, he had a smile on his face, and he was just super nice. And, you know, he saw that I was new to town. And so any questions that I had about, you know, where I needed to go to get certain things and everything else, he was always willing to answer a question. And then it turned into something so much bigger than that, in that he actually found out that I had a passion for music. And this is the guy who really helped my career along as a DJ. And, you know, he took me under his wing. Like, I asked him lots of technical questions about getting into DJing, and he answered all those questions. And you know, he got me into DJing. And so this is not only someone who I find inspiring, but he's a mentor of mine in so many different ways. And he didn't even know that in so many different ways, he was just teaching me a lot about how to interact with people, how to build relationships, how to maintain positive relationships with people, grow your brand and just your overall persona as a person who's out in the public eye. And, you know, he's just always been a very kind person to me. And so without any further ado, given his flowers and all the things that, you know, he's done for me over the course of my life and my career, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to introduce to you Donnell DJ Romeo Jones is on the show with me today. What was that like, man? Just hearing some of that.
You know, throughout life, you just do what you do.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't get the praise for it.
Yeah.
Not that I do it for the praise, but it is nice to kind of hear some of those accolades. That's nice.
Yeah.
So almost as good as like a Sway, when Sway gives the flowers and everything. Yes. I'm like, man, I did do those things. I don't think about those things, but I remember a vivid memory of you was when you were asking about DJing and things like that. And I just brought you on the road with me, like, just come with me and I'll show you.
Man, I'll tell you what. So I was just so hungry back then to get into the industry, and you were just always willing. If, you know, you come and pick me up all the time, and you just say, hey, come go with me. You know, I'm going this place, I'm going that place. And that's all I wanted. And that's all I needed. I just needed to be exposed to the industry and, you know, really have a chance to learn more about it. And I just watched you so closely and saw how, you know, again, intricate you were about your music and how you played your music. And man, it was just that, like, for my listeners, you all may not know this about me. You know me as Dr. Chatters, but you know, I'm also a DJ, and I've been DJing since I met this guy. And so, you know, for him to show me the ropes as far as just the DJing side of things is concerned. And quick story, this is the guy who actually gave me my DJ name.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, DJ XL, that's what they call me, DJ XL. And so tell the story about how you gave me my DJ name.
I just wanted you to be larger than life.
Yes.
You know, just do it big. You know, XL is the biggest, right? So
yes,
do it to the fullest.
Absolutely. And I'll never forget. So, you know, we were talking about a DJ name, and DJ Romeo was like, you know what? He's like, because, you know, in the early days, what he would do is he would basically like have me come with him to a gig. And then basically if he'd go and, you know, want to be off for a little bit and take a break, he'd just be like, all right, I'm running to the restroom, I'll be right back. Knowing good and well he wasn't going to come back for a couple songs. And honestly, in my heart, I was hoping you weren't going to come back, because I wanted to mess with the DJ tables. I needed some time, right? I just wanted to show you what I could do. And so he'd disappear for maybe, you know, 5-10 minutes, and I'd start DJing. And so every time I had the opportunity to like get on while he was listening, I really try to impress him, like play something cool or maybe do a great mix or something. So he'd come back and give me some feedback on it or whatever the case might be. And I'll never forget, like, as we got further along into that process, you said, you know what? You're like, I'm going to call you DJ Excel because I want you to be larger than life, but also you accelerate the crowd. You get people out of their seats. You like get people to dance. I'm going to call you DJ Excel. And that stuck with me. And that's what my DJ name has been all these years. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And honestly, the fact that you gave me that opportunity early on was really special. So good. I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So anyways, we got you here in the studio today. By the way, you guys, like this guy that I have in the studio with me today, he was so big on the radio back in the early 2000s, and he was on the biggest stations in Nebraska and doing some of the biggest concerts and just absolutely very, very well known as far as his persona, his ability to mix music. And he has a whole story of how he got into DJing and how he became DJ Romeo. And so we're going to talk about that today. We're also just going to talk generally about his life and, some of the trials and tribulations you've had over the course of your life, some of the things that you've had to overcome, right? And that's really what this show is about. The Law of Lift is just about how people get through the adversity and find their way up. And so, I'm excited to have you on here today, get a chance to talk to you about all of these things. But where we always start, sir, is we start from where did your name come from? That's the first question that I always ask people. So tell me, where did the name Donnell come from? And is that your first name? Because some people go by a different name. It's not their first name. So where did the name Donnell come from?
My government name is, I don't even want to
I know.
But you know what? I'm old now. I don't care. And it's not what I use unless I use some money. No, I'm joking.
Right.
But my first name is Leroy.
That's right.
Jones.
Okay.
My middle name is Donnell.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I was supposed to be a junior, but my dad didn't have a middle name.
I see.
But my mom gave me a middle name. So I'm Leroy Donnell Jones.
Okay.
And everyone always called me Donnie anyway. They
Gotcha.
always call me Donnie, but my actual middle name is Donnell. So I go by my middle name. Just because I felt at a younger age, Leroy was such an older name.
Yes.
For a young 10-year-old. I'm like,
hey, Leroy. Like,
not Leroy yet.
You don't see any Leroys anymore even, right? Like,
not very many.
Not many. Yeah.
No, not very many.
So you grew up going by Donnie then?
Yep.
Okay. And speaking of growing up, where were you born? Where did you start this journey called life?
I was born in St. Louis in 69.
Okay.
Moved to Nebraska in 79.
Okay. So about at the age of 10.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. 5th grade. So what would that be? 13?
12, yeah. Right around there.
12, yeah. Somewhere around there. Kind of a Will Smith story where I'm coming of age. I'm starting to ride my bike more in St. Louis, hanging out with, kind of a rough crowd. Like we were always gone and starting to get more mobile on my bike. And my mom, I remember vividly, I got into a fight at school and she thought it was more serious than what it was. I didn't get hurt, but I got chased home every day.
Oh, wow.
For like a week. She's like, why are you sweating on the way home all the time? And I'm like, I got into this fight and this dude thought I got the best of him and he's been threatening to beat me up every day. So in the summer, she was like, you're going to your grandma's house in Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Just to hang out for the summer and see how it cools down or whatever. I get here and she's like, so are you meeting people? Like, yeah. She was like, good, because you're staying.
Oh, wow. And that was a surprise to you, I'm sure, right?
Right.
You didn't tell your friends bye, right? You just
no, it was just you're out.
Oh, my goodness.
And then, later on, so, as a kid, you're growing up, you're like, man, my mom just left me here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was she saw that, potential of me getting in trouble and the potential of I wasn't in that type of crowd. I wasn't that type of person.
Gotcha.
Period. So,
so
she was like, yeah, go out there. And of course, my grandma needs some help with just everyday chores, gardening, taking care of the house. She was getting older. So, yeah.
And so this is your mom's mom or who? So grandma, which side?
Okay. So for legal purposes, she was my babysitter.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But we called her my grandma.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
But she was my babysitter in St. Louis. So it gets deeper.
Gotcha.
There's so many layers to this.
There are.
Yeah. I mean, but so my mom's mom was in St. Louis. So she looked up, her mentor was this lady that we call it, her name was Elizabeth.
Okay.
That moved here to be closer to her actual sister. But she saw in this lady her mentorship, right? So she's like, I think when she was in Lincoln or in St. Louis, I babysat. It was a block away. She babysat me a block away. When she moved here, she's like, I could use some help.
Yeah.
And then, Donnie's in trouble most of the time. We'll send him out there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Boom.
Wow.
But so for legal purposes, she adopted me as her grandson.
Really? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So that's interesting, and we kind of talk about some of these unique things on the show, that here is this older lady who is here in Lincoln who said she needs some help. And so here you come at 10 years old to help. And so, what was that like for you, first of all, to leave your mom and just like come out to Lincoln, Nebraska at the age of 10?
Major shock.
Yeah.
Major shock at a young age, because I was the only child up until I was 7.
I see. Okay.
And then KB came around.
Right.
My brother. So,
right.
And then shortly after that, Terrence and Walter.
Gotcha.
For 7 years, I was
it's just you and your mom?
Me and mom.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
My dad died when I was 2 or 3.
Okay.
Very young.
Gotcha.
Real bad addiction, collapsed lungs type situation or something. That the story I heard, I don't.
Right. You never really knew.
I really don't know the story.
Yeah.
Mom doesn't talk about it. So, and getting bits and pieces from aunts.
Yep.
Is kind of biased too, because they never liked them.
Gotcha.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I was like, if I ever come across someone that knew his side,
right,
to hear that side. So
yeah. And honestly, I think I can remember early on when I met you that there was a picture of your dad in your house that you kept, right, in his military uniform.
I still have that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so, but you didn't really know too much about him, especially kind of growing up with mom, coming out here. So you're out here in Lincoln, Nebraska at the age of 10. It's 1979. What is it like in Lincoln at that time? And how did you acclimate to leaving East St. Louis, right?
Oh, no, just regular. Wellston.
Wellston. Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't. Okay.
No.
So St. Louis, you're in St. Louis. You come out here to Nebraska.
Right.
And what was that like for you? Just the shock of being here and, being away from your family?
Yeah. Culture shock at first. Because, I don't remember too many kids that look like me.
Right.
At that age. And then there was a teacher, I think his name was Mr. Chip, maybe.
Yeah.
African-American teacher.
Yeah.
And so I kind of attracted to him just because he was like what I'm used to in St. Louis.
Right.
Only black kid in school. There was one other mixed girl. And just kind of not really fitting in at first.
Yeah.
Not knowing how to, because I'd never been around any amount of white people.
Gotcha.
At that time at 10, period.
Okay.
On my side of town, the mailman, the grocery stores, the police, everyone black on that side of town. So
I see. Okay.
Coming here and having that culture shock and having to learn how to, because I didn't have any like tainted stories of don't trust people, don't. It's just, I didn't know anything.
You didn't know anything. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But getting here and my first 6 months here, I remember this vividly. I've never told you this story, but my first 6 months, they didn't know where to put me.
Oh, wow.
So, right. As far as like education wise, I couldn't read.
Gotcha.
The school system in St. Louis was just not it at the time. And so they put me in the mentally handicapped classes, challenge classes, just because they didn't know where to gauge me.
Wow.
I was slow learning, slow reading.
Right.
And the teacher in the class, she was like, she's one-on-one and she's asking questions and I'm answering them.
Yeah.
But I couldn't read. So, she taught me syllables. She taught me how to put my conjunctions together and all that stuff.
Right.
And the teacher, she's like, this kid is not mentally handicapped at all. He's just slow learning. He just needs some one-on-one time.
Right.
So after about 6 months, then they placed me in a normal class at the time to speed along. So then English became my favorite subject.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, wow. First of all, I appreciate you saying that. That's a very humbling thing to happen. And at the age of 10, moving out to a new place, and honestly, Nebraska does have a great education system. And so they had certain expectations of students that were going to potentially go into the 5th grade or whatever. Right. And so the fact that you unfortunately weren't able to read at that time, you couldn't even really express what you knew because you had to comprehend. Right. And reading comprehension is so important. And so finally you get some remediation at that point and you get into, the school. Which school did you go to, by the way?
Park Middle School.
So you went to Park. Wow. Okay. So you're over here right off of 9th Street then, right? And And is that the same neighborhood that your grandma was living in
Yes.
over there? Okay,
Yeah,
so that was close to home.
3rd and D.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're there, and you start to acclimate, you start to learn about being in Nebraska and everything else. And so talk to me a little bit more about just like your school career. Like, when did you said English was your favorite subject, was it because of the being able to like read and like really expand your knowledge, or what did you really like or dislike about school as you started to get used to it?
I liked reading, and being able to comprehend and actually understanding what I'm reading.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can read it and not understand anything, even if you read it 3 times.
That's right. Yeah.
So comprehending it was big, and so English, math, least.
Okay.
Obviously,
learn into the math side of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then furthering on in my DJ career, you learn that math is
very important.
Yes. Very pivotal, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But just navigating through, just learning life and learning who I was.
Yeah.
Back then was weird, because I didn't know how music came along was just by listening to the radio.
Uh-huh. And back then, that's where basically all the music was, right? Is on the radio. I mean,
right.
That's what made and broke artists, right? Was the radio.
Right. So in St. Louis, Mom had some parties. She would have a few like dominoes or card parties.
Yeah.
And I remember vividly being, I don't know, 5, 6, something like that. And she'd play 45s.
Okay.
She would put this record player, you could put maybe 5 or 6 45s on at a time.
Okay.
And the arm would play, and it would go down, and then you put another one would come on. So it'd be a stack.
Nice.
And as I'm sitting there, just like kind of like this, watching the record and asking questions, how do these people get on this little disc? And she's like, honey, it's recorded.
Yeah.
But when they stop, take this arm off, bring them to me. I'll shuffle them back up, put them back on there, and then you can push the button.
Okay.
So she introduced me to DJing at a young age.
That's
because
amazing.
of just doing that.
And were those singles then?
Those were, yeah.
Okay.
45 singles.
Singles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow. So she had like a record changer, basically, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Because if you just put a stack on this black die, pretty big, tall, and you put the stack up there and just push play, and then it would play, and then the arm would move back. One would drop down, and then another one would.
Oh, I see. I see. Gotcha.
Yeah, so then when all 5 of them played, we take the stack off, and she'd manipulate them and put them back up there and reset the whole process.
Wow. We had no idea how innovative the shuffle button on the 6-disc changer was, right? You're literally bringing records over to your mom and saying, hey, mix them up,
Do this again. So she introduced me to DJing at a young age, and it just stuck.
That's awesome.
We always had music in our house. Clean.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you remember kind of what who those artists were that you were listening to growing up, and kind of why you were inspired to like love music? Like, what was it?
It was Stevie, Marvin Gaye.
Yes.
Yes. Patti LaBelle.
Yes. Okay.
Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, all the,
right.
James Brown, all of them.
Right. And that was really like a golden era for those artists, right?
Motown, especially.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So
some gospel
stuff too. That's cool. That's cool. So you remember that early part of your life, just having music in your life, having, it's great to think about, you really thinking about the technical aspect of records and music, and just like, how does this happen? Because to be honest with you, it's one of those things that people still to this day don't understand how a record is made, how the grooves actually translate into sound, right? And then CDs, of course, compact discs come along, or tapes come along, or whatever, and the music is still a mystery, right? It's like, how does this work? And so you're kind of having some of those same thoughts. But talk to me about just being away from your mom. Like, how did you reconcile being away from this person who you spent the first 10 years of your life being so close to, and then you're here in Nebraska? Like, did you go back in the summers ever, or how did that work?
Sometimes. Sometimes I'd go back in the summer, and my family was there for a long time too, like cousins, uncles, aunts. My mom had a big family. I want to say 13.
Oh, wow.
13 girls.
Okay.
1 boy.
Oh, my goodness.
Uncle Mike is the only biological uncle.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
And so now, today, Mom and Uncle Mike are the only 2 left.
Wow. Out of the 15.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a big family.
Yeah. And I'm 2 years, and this is crazy, I'm 2 years younger than my uncle.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And my mom's 85 now.
Wow.
I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I compartmentalize a lot.
Yeah.
When I first moved here, we're just going to call her grandma for the fact she's always been my grandma.
Right.
But she had 2 dogs. So, and I was kind of, for that first probably year, I was just kind of a loner.
Yeah.
Moving around in the neighborhood a little bit, saying hi to people, but it wasn't really like a friendly, I'm not going to say it was hostile, but it wasn't like, hey, you're the new kid on the block. Come over and hang out and let's play ball.
Right.
It wasn't like that. And I had really gotten was in love with this dog, this black Labrador named Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I trained, and spending a lot of time with a dog, you end up training them somehow.
Yeah.
So I'm training this dog and just music. I just remember always having music there too, just to kind of get me through.
Yeah.
Cassettes and some records that I had, but my grandma got me a small cassette player at the time, and Kiss was one of my first actual albums.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Okay.
And I've never heard of who this was until moving here. So Kiss, Journey, Chicago.
Okay.
Things like that, right? So I'm learning the other side of, but just listening to the lyrics and that type of music kind of got me through at a young age, and listening to the radio and Midnight, my dog. So those type of things helped me get through.
Yeah.
And I finally met some people in the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
And start, developing friendships that way. But
that's amazing. So music, just like being a person who was very outgoing and kind. You guys, like, one thing I have to tell you about DJ Romeo is that I'm not sure there's many people out there that don't know him and his smile. And he just has always been a very kind person. Like, you just very, very gregarious, and you get along with everybody, everybody. Right, And so I think even from that young age, you recognize that, a smile was important, being able to connect with people, and, you were finding your way. Right. Right. And so yeah, but it's just been amazing to have DJ Romeo on the show thus far. And right when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about where he chose to do his high school and what happened after that. You're listening to The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings.
Now back
and
to the
melty
Law of
mozzarella
Lift with
cheese.
Dr. Lawrence
It's the
Chatters
tradition that
on
Nebraskans have
93.7
come to love. From game day to every day.
That's right. We are back.
Taste the tradition.
I have DJ Romeo, aka Donnell Jones, in the studio with me today, and he is just dropping some knowledge on us and just talking to us about his evolution, talking to us about his development, and being here in Lincoln early on in his life, and just, honestly having music, his dog, and lots of thoughts about, how do I reconcile all of these things? He's away from his mom and his family. He's here in Lincoln growing up. It's the late 70s, kind of turning the page to the 80s pretty quickly there. But so Donnie, talk to us about, where do you end up going to high school, and kind of how do you then become or start becoming this person that I get to meet many years later, that just everybody knows, that's just like super friendly and outgoing and like a big personality. Like, how does that happen?
I guess finding myself in high school, but so Park Middle School.
Yes.
Everett Junior High.
Okay.
And then Everett Junior High and Park switched for a little while.
Okay.
Remember that? Or you don't remember?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
No.
So I was Park, and then Park Middle School, then Everett Junior High. And then after I went to junior high that year,
yes,
they went to Everett Middle School.
I see. Okay.
And then Park was the junior high,
okay,
which was just very confusing. Now I think it's back to Park Elementary.
Yes.
But I went to Lincoln High, graduated in 87 from Lincoln High.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
what was it like being at Lincoln High, like in the 80s? I mean, this is like a prime era for music, and like all these different things are happening, like MTV, right? Like,
ooh, MTV was very pivotal.
Yeah.
Because I just remember all my friends playing basketball. I wrestled a little bit in junior high.
Okay.
I did some wrestling. I thought that's what I wanted to do, or basketball, but wasn't that good in basketball, as tall as I was, but I was a better wrestler.
Yeah.
However, still on this music train.
Right.
I think around 13 or 14, I actually got like a secondhand set of turntables.
Okay.
Until I was able to buy my own turntables from a place called Stereo West at the time.
Oh my gosh, Stereo West. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stereo West and Radio Shack were the spots that
those were the places. Yeah,
that was
just go in and like look at things you can't afford, right?
No,
just dream.
But Stereo West was good about putting it on layaway.
Gotcha.
Remember layaway back?
Man, layaway, man.
If it wasn't for layaway, man,
Seriously.
I don't think my career would have got started. To be honest,
it's just hard to go drop that much money at one time. You like never had that much money at one time, you know?
Yeah. I tell you, because a new Technique 1200 back then was like $400, which was a lot of money.
Yes,
that was a lot of money, and I was able to, put it on layaway and pay for them over a 6-month period or whatever.
Yeah,
I thought I was really doing it then, but before that, I just started, playing around, and I remember everyone playing basketball and all those things, and I'm running home to catch MTV.
Gotcha,
because this was the premiere of that Michael Jackson Thriller. Oh my gosh.
that was a world premiere. It was huge, right?
And they made it a world premiere.
Yes.
So just getting excited about it. Like, you guys, I'm out. MTV's on. I gotta go check this out. And it was like right after school. So like intramural basketball and those things were starting. I'm out.
Yeah.
So it was almost an addiction.
Right.
Like, like just loving it. And I remember always being excited about the type of music that I was hearing.
Yes.
Too.
Right.
So it was always like Atlantic Star or anything, Motown, just uplifting, fun music. So I'm like, okay, I can vibe with this. So
when you think about just the music that was kind of, big during that time, and you talked about it like an addiction, I think there's something so special about hearing new music and then taking that music and reconciling it with what you've heard, right? Like you've got this instant comparison, like, okay, this artist just dropped another song. You got the whole genre. Then you have the wider range of music that you you talked about Chicago, you talked about Journey, you talked about Kiss, right? Like one of the things, you guys, that I learned from this man that's in the studio today is that you should never just pigeonhole yourself in one genre as a DJ. Like you have to have a depth of understanding of the music, and you need to be able to you need to know the standards and the big time hits, few B-sides from every genre, right? Because that's what makes you a better DJ. And so during that time, you're hearing the Michael Jacksons, you're hearing the George Michaels, you're hearing the, across the board, there's so many different types of artists in the 80s. What is it that you were really, really like collecting at the time as far as like music was concerned? Because you're probably buying tapes, right? You're probably buying different music. What types of things were you? Yeah, records and tapes. Like, what were you collecting?
You name it. Anything 80s. Yeah. Anything really. Just obviously being here.
Right.
And once I actually started, I was collecting just kind of on my own. I was collecting Motown and stuff like that. Yeah. But once I started to meet other DJs and getting a little bit more recognition.
Yeah.
I had a mentor as well. His name was Doc. And this is why I turned this on to you as well, because he was like, hey, if you're going to be in Lincoln, Nebraska playing,
right,
you can't just play hip hop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just a hip hop crowd. There's so much more out there. So he was like, come with me, check this out. And it was the underground.
Yeah.
Huey's, Chesterfield's, O'Malley's, depending on what time you were here.
Right.
Huey's, Chesterfield's, O'Malley's, a couple others, the underground. It used to be under the Gunny's building.
Okay.
In the lower level of the Gunny's building. Golds.
Yeah.
That spot was teen night on Sundays.
Okay.
And so I would go down there and just instantly start talking to the DJ and, hey man, you need any help? And he's like, I guess I could have you set up,
right,
or whatever. So he would have me set up, and it's almost like he hazed me for like 6 months. Like I just set up and that's it. Like,
right.
So now I'm like, when am I going to get to, like you,
right?
When am I going to get to play?
What's next?
What's next? Right.
Yeah.
He's like, just chill, just sit back, relax and listen.
Yeah.
Hang on. So,
yeah. And again, you're very young too, right?
Very young,
in the spot,
green, not knowing anything, but
right.
I was always there half hour, 45, maybe an hour early.
Yes.
And the last one out.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. You just say, show up, and I'm there before he was there a lot of the time, and setting his records up, hooking up the amps. And back then, this was pre
powered speakers.
Yes.
Everything had multiple cords coming out of it, right? And they were heavy
QSCs, amps, and all these. Man, so plugging these old amps in with these tubes. Some of them had tubes, and then and the polarity was off sometimes just because I didn't know. He taught me everything about the reason why you hook it up this way, the positive, negative. Just it went deep. So
right.
I learned a lot early on, more than even my peers at the time that just only knew how to play records. I knew how to set up a whole sound system by myself, mics, all the nine, mixing.
Yes.
And he got me into just everything. Oh, in fact, before I was even 19, I'm DJing a bar nights.
Wow.
For adults.
Okay.
And he did the same exact thing that I did for you when I say, I'm going to the bathroom. He would say, just no dead air.
Right.
I'm going to the bathroom. And he'd be gone for a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm like, where's this dude?
Yes.
Where's he at?
Yes.
And he'd sit in the back and he'd say, so why'd you play that song? Why'd you do that song? I'm like, well, you normally would do that. And I thought that this would go with that.
Right.
And he goes, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's going to get you there. So playing.
Yes.
Madonna and Cyndi Lauper,
right,
and Earth, Wind, and Fire, and making them all blend and make sense.
Yes,
was amazing.
That's awesome. And again, it's just at the time you're playing some of the classic music of the 80s, and it's at its peak during that time. And so I always kind of would wonder, what it would be like to like break a new, record from whoever, and it's like the time when that music was really it, right? And so you're doing all of those things. And so you're mixing, you're playing in clubs, and talk to us a little bit about post-graduation for you. What did you want to do after you graduated, and kind of what did you start seeing as career options for you?
So before graduation, we were doing some parties. There was a buddy of mine, Tojo. He used to do a lot of house parties. And I had a couple of friends that did a lot of house parties, but Tojo did a lot. We did a lot of house parties together. And I remember doing this one party, and somebody came to me and said, I want to do a party, but I don't want to do it in a house anymore. I want to do it like a clubhouse or even a bar. So they rented P.O. Pears.
Okay.
The back part of P.O. Pears.
Yeah.
And it was I want to say it was a Friday. I'd go down there, I did this set, and then Bob, or maybe it wasn't Bob at the time. I think he was a manager or something at the time. And it was like hey, we have a Thursday open if you're looking for something to do.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I could do that. And then Dan, there was a black DJ that was down there that also, he started DJing across the street at the Precinct at the time. Remember the Precinct?
Yeah, the old police station. Right?
Yeah. And so I'm watching him DJ too. And he used to be really good at house music.
Yes.
And I was interested in house music too. So I just go down there and just, vibe with him too,
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I'm actually going to be leaving here. So if you want to do Friday and Saturdays,
wow,
you got it. I'll put in the word for you. So then I'm doing Thursday, Friday,
Saturday. Yeah. Now you got the whole weekend covered, right?
I'm doing it. And then I get bigger. So I started doing more weekends, and then people were like, I want you to do my wedding, or I want you to do this. And I remember start doing more things in Omaha. Mike Miller, which was a owner of a bar here, moves to Omaha, asked me to go out there and DJ in some clubs for him in Omaha. So I started traveling to Omaha, getting bigger, and then a radio personality saw me in the bar in Omaha and said, hey, you're interested in doing radio?
And this is like a whole new realm, right? A whole new realm. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to 93.7 The Ticket. I have DJ Romeo here with me today. DJ Romeo is a product of St. Louis, but came to Lincoln, Nebraska at the age of 10, grew up, spent some time at Park Middle, Everett, went to Lincoln High, graduated in 1987, and then has just, talked about the evolution of music and how music has made so much of a difference in his life, just kind of thinking back to his early years when music really, from an emotional perspective, provided him with, something to lean on. But then now it's talking about the 80s, the golden 80s of music, and just being able to like be in the scene during that time frame. And so at any DJ's, career, being able to get a residency is a big deal, right?
Right.
Because that's that consistency. But what that also does is it allows you to create a following, right? And it allows people to come to a specific place and see you consistently. And you constantly have to change too, because you can't just play the same thing every week, right?
Right.
Like it's not just them seeing you once, it's them seeing you every week. And as the music changes, you have to change. And so it sounds like you got those initial residencies here in Lincoln. You started to get some opportunities in Omaha. And then all of a sudden, there's the possibility of getting onto the radio, right? And so tell us a little bit about what that was like for you to be on the radio for the first time and how that kind of changed your paradigm of what was possible with this DJ thing.
That was really cool. Being able to take my skills, mixing, mashing up before mashups were called mashups.
Yes.
I'm blending records on radio live. So just being able to express myself and everyone else vibing with it at that time in real time, because there was no social media saying, "Oh, this is great. This is not," no Twitches, no all of them, no TikToks and
none of that
in real time, Facebook and Instagram, where you can see how people like it.
Yes,
you have to now go to the club and hear how you did that day.
That's right.
Right. So I just remember getting a lot of feedback from people from like some of the craziest places you wouldn't even think. Like there was a dude that was in prison. He was like, "Man, I listened to you. Look forward to listening to the radio every single day just to hear what you're going to mix with what next." Things like that. So I'm like, he's like, "You got me through."
And you're like, what? Like you didn't even know you were having that impact on people.
Inspiring people just by just playing your music. And mind you, there was really no format. Yes, you had to play these certain songs.
Right.
But I could play a remix or be creative as I wanted to with what I had to deal with.
Yeah. And, honestly, that's one of the things that I always truly appreciated about listening to you mix, is that it was not linear in any way. You would always throw a curveball in there, and it was always something that, was very special and unique. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here talking to the very special, unique Donnell, DJ Romeo Jones. You're listening to The Law of Lift, and we are just hearing so much great music, history, and a lot of history about the club scene in Lincoln and Omaha. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers.
Now back to The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. We're here with DJ Romeo, and he's just telling us about his initial journey into being on the radio. And just, I'll never forget, you used to do so many mixes basically like during the traffic jam, like Time Frame. And I mean, they just really had you at concerts. They had you a little bit of everywhere just because you were such a master of your craft when it came to mixing and just being able to create things on the fly. Like, you all have to understand that music now, with the accessibility to it, whether it be instrumentals or being able to use stems and stuff like that, like that was not even that was impossible back then, right? So you'd have to create a bed for somebody to do like an intro or an outro on the radio, and you were masterful at that type of stuff. And
I created all the beds.
Yeah.
And it, acapellas and instrumentals came from the records.
Yes.
So when CDs came along, I had to literally rip every acapella and instrumental into some sort of program and then reburn them onto CDs when I was starting to do clubs.
Yes.
But for my early part of the career, I'm taking 5, 6, 7, 8 crates of records to a bar or a club.
I remember that. I used to be carrying those crates.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly, you don't think about it because now you walk around with access to every song in the world on your phone. Back then, the extent to what you were going to play was the amount of records you had. Like, you literally couldn't play anything else besides the records that you brought to that particular club. And you needed variety. And then all of a sudden, CDs came along. And then CDs offered more tracks on one disc. And we actually got to the point then when MP3s started to come along, and MP3s were much smaller as far as that's concerned. So you could bring even more of those.
Right.
But early on, yeah, it was just crate after crate after crate and have a few singles and a few instrumentals, and that's what you had. But seriously, that was even more than what they had started with before that, right? So you saw the evolution all the way from talking about that player that your mom started with at the house
45.
parties, those 45s, right? Yeah. All the way up to where now, who knows where the music is? It's just coming out the computer, right?
So just imagine the evolution for a DJ like myself, right?
Yes.
I go from records, from 45s to albums to singles, 12-inch singles. So a full-length 12-inch record, but one or two singles on it.
Yes.
On each side, and those things were about $7, $8, $9, $10 a piece.
Yes.
And then going to cassettes.
Yep.
And then CDs, and now having to do it all over again.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I had like records and then put those to a side, going with books to CDs.
Yes.
Put those to the side, and now you can just get a streaming service on your phone.
Yep.
And it will hook up to your players at this point too.
Yes.
So I've been kind of frustrated because I had to buy so much music over
and over.
Exactly.
And that's the thing about the music industry is that they're finding ways to reinvent themselves so they can make more money. Right. And honestly, with the amount of music that we had amassed, whether it be via MP3 or, hard drives full of music and stuff like that, they've just now nullified all of that because now you have access to everything you need by just pulling, Apple Music into your players. Right. And so, and I wanted to go back to that because I think that the medium that you choose to start with as a DJ, back then, I remember, I wanted to start on records. I really wanted to do it, but you guys, I wasn't able to because honestly, I'm legally blind. And so one of the things that I told DJ Romeo when I first started was, hey, I can't see very well. Right. So first of all, being in the clubs, the nightclubs and stuff like that, when it's really dark, you can't really see that well. And so I told him, I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the record thing because I can't precisely put this needle on the record in the dark.
Right.
And, it's a struggle for me. And so early on, I did have turntables. And I remember you helped me figure out which ones to get and everything else. But then I basically had to get rid of those because CDs were around. And fortunately, CDs were different. I mean, you could see the track number. This was prior to being able to see the text of what the track was.
Right.
But, we had books and books of CDs. And remember, we would go to weddings and then you'd have your playlist and somebody would request a playlist and you say, okay, disc 17, song 14. That's that specific song. I'm going to play that next. Right. And now, it's just changed, right? It's changed over the years. So you're on the radio and just, talk to us about, what kind of the pinnacle of your radio career would have been.
So the radio show was called the 5 O'Clock Freak Show.
That's right. That's right.
And and we started off with, I want to say, was it Montez? So there was a few hosts. There was Montez. There was Wes Hall. There was, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. And he was the first one. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
When I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't do very much talking. All I did was DJ. So they would open up 5 O'Clock Freak Show. Hey, what's up? It's Big Fast, John Fast.
Yes.
John Fast. And there was another guy too. But anyway, we would open up the show.
Yeah.
He would talk a little bit and then into the show.
Yeah.
And then, let's say a weekend would come by and Snoop's in town or Exhibit is in town.
Yes. Yes.
I'm opening up for those shows.
Yes.
The way I actually got, my first shot on there was Busy Bee was moving to a new station.
That's right. That's right.
At that time, he was going into Hot.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so they were looking for someone and you'd be perfect. Come to find out, the program director was an old roommate of mine in Lincoln.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So yes, I still had to prove myself, but I knew who he was through DJing.
Yes.
Here's awesome. Another fun fact about DJ Romeo that no one knows. Well, not too many people know. If you know, you know. But I was in a rap group.
My goodness.
Did you know this?
I've kind of heard some things about it. I've never heard any of the tracks.
Yeah.
So
no one will ever hear
what's the name of the rap group?
It's in the vault.
Okay. Gotcha.
When I pass away, maybe that vault will open up
that's right.
So Prince's, unedited songs and things. But the name of the group was Too Deaf. Okay. The reason why deaf being a word that meant dope back then, right? So everything was deaf or dope. So deaf, but was 2 rappers, 2 DJs, 2 were black, 2 were white.
Okay.
Right. So we had that 2 thing going on, and we were just too deaf. We were just too dope for ourselves, right? Basically, that's kind of how that came along. And then we, on the album cover, it was hand drawn, a white hand and a black hand in unity.
Oh, wow.
On the cover.
Okay.
Yeah. And it kind of looked like a peace symbol.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was it.
Too deaf.
Right. And so my program director was in our rival group called Tone Deaf.
Okay. Okay.
So, and I think, I don't really know the reason why they were that, probably just because they didn't see it. They couldn't hear music. I don't know. I don't know. They couldn't hear music.
Still some salt to this day, right? So, but ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we'll continue hearing about Donnie's journey, DJ Romeo, and the evolution of him. We're really happy to have him on the show today. You're listening to The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Now back to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln, Nebraska, we are back. Top of another hour. Beautiful Saturday. I have Donnie DJ Romeo in the studio with me today. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, the very beginning, this is one of my mentors, somebody who was always very kind to me when I first came to Lincoln, someone who taught me so much just about relationships, about connecting with people, and just his overall disposition. And this is something that, I never really told you, but one of the things that's always impressed me, I'm not sure I've ever really seen you very angry. Mm-hmm. And that's, and it's not that you don't get angry. It's just that, I've always seen you handle things in yourself in a very professional way. And so, whether it be that we're out and about and DJing together or whatever, and I've been, around you for a really long time, like over 20 years now, I just feel like you consistently have a very positive disposition. Like, you know what, we can figure this out. And so, even today, you guys, like behind the scenes, like, he's out cutting trees and doing his, handyman thing. And I call him and he's like, oh, shoot, is that today? And then he gets down here as quickly as he can. And, so no, I truly appreciate you, man. But
thank you.
It's just been neat to hear a little bit about your beginning years and what had made you who you are. And just kind of this, hey, I'm in this new place, Lincoln. I need to start over. I need to find my way. It sounds like, you did that through school. You did that through music. You did that through relationships. And now you're at the radio station up in Omaha, and you are a very famous DJ. And you guys, now radio has changed, right? I mean, there's so many different places that you can get music and listen to music and everything else. Back then, the radio was the place to be. And it was, the early 2000s, right? So this is when, radio stations are just, millions and millions of listeners. That's where the music was broken. It's even kind of at a time when that's where concerts were promoted. That's where all the different companies in town are doing their best jingle and advertising and everything. So the funds are coming in and everything else. So tell us about just maybe the pinnacle of your radio time frame and when you really felt like, gosh, a lot of people know you as a DJ, and how that was helping your career in other ways.
So just going, doing the radio, but also you would do a hit. Let's say you'd be at Gen X, for instance, right? Because that was one of my sponsors back then. And I do a jingle for them. You go down there, and, Romeo's going to be down at Gen X today from 6 to 9. Come on down and say hi to him, blah, blah, blah. You sign autographs, you take pictures, and you just start to feel this thing grow, right? And we were actually we were number one for hip hop and R&B is what it started.
Gotcha.
Then it went on to Kelly Clarkson, Gavin DeGraw,
right? Poppy,
Poppy and stuff. And before it was 94.1, it was 977.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then 977 became like a Spanish station. Or
that's right.
Something like
that's
that,
right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But just being able to see the people in the public, and then after that, so the bars would get wind of me being, oh, he's off today, so he could actually do. They used to do specials at the bars too, like Amnesia and other bars that were up in Omaha, or even Club Energy down here. They'd be like, Romeo, where are you going to be at this weekend?
Right.
Oh, I'm at this bar. I'm over here on Friday. Rumors and Bellevue.
Yes.
And that would boost up revenue for the bar owners.
Yep.
And this is back when money was just flowing, because you know, on a Sunday I was probably making $800.
Wow.
That's unheard of.
It is.
As a DJ.
As a DJ, it is. Yeah.
They were giving you percentages back then.
Right.
Now it's like if you get $300 now in the bars, that's a lot.
It is. Absolutely.
Today, and that, which is crazy for bottle service and all the stuff. That's another story for another day, but just being able to be in the clubs and hearing all that.
Yeah.
So a regular day at the bar, at the radio station, would be do the show, and then I would go, if I had time, I would do Saturday hot mix show too.
That's right.
So I would pre-record my sets. So I'd go into the studio with El Ness every now and again.
Yes.
And do 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and just keep like stacking those up for the weekend shows.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, DJ Romeo's on the air.
Right. And he's wherever, right?
And he's wherever. We thought about doing the live thing, but edited music and not having the timing and then the equipment to do those type of things.
Yeah.
Just wasn't feasible for us. But we still figured out how to make it work with the pre-recorded stuff.
Gotcha.
4th of July's I would do, do live.
Yep.
Or pre-recorded live,
Yeah. So you were just, you were everywhere for a while there.
Everywhere.
Honestly, it seemed like you were duplicating yourself.
I was in Columbus, Nebraska. I was in Grand Island.
Yes.
Doing some reggaeton
yes.
stuff out there. So really fun story one time. This is funny. DJ Romeo, right?
Right.
Well, out there they hear like, oh, that's DJ Romero. Right?
Yeah.
So they think, and then they call, one dude says, hey, I want you to DJ the Latin Club in Schuyler.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what's the name of it? He goes, yeah, it's called the Latin Club in Schuyler. I'm like, I don't know that it's the name of it is the Latino Club.
Yes, yes.
So we get there and everybody's expecting
probably somebody who's
a
like
Hispanic DJ.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like, where's the DJ? I'm like, I'm right here. And he was like, what are you gonna play? Like, I don't. I was like, I don't know reggaeton like that. I knew some.
Yeah.
So one of my DJ buddies back then, I can't think of his real name. I call him. We call each other like really messed up like nicknames.
Okay. We'll just call him your friend.
Yeah. So anyway, he was like, play this disc all the way through.
Right.
Any mix you want, play these 2 discs. Those are all hits.
Right.
And then take them home, study them, find more like those.
Yeah.
He was instrumental in getting me into Schuyler every weekend.
Oh, wow.
And
here you are playing all this different kind of music again.
Still not knowing Spanish.
Right.
Just knowing the beats.
You had no idea what they were saying.
Daddy Yankee, Weezy and Yandel, Evie Queen.
Yes.
Young artists back then too.
Absolutely.
And I'm just rattling them off. I know all the songs, not knowing Spanish.
Right.
But being able to know because of the feeling of the music and everybody.
Yes.
Oh, that one worked. That one went over well.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep that one.
You keep that one.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I kind of learned that a little bit. I knew when I was over my head with the the cumbias and
the bachata, playing all that stuff. Yeah. And you really got into that for a little while. I can remember.
Yeah, for sure.
So here you are kind of expanding your reach, expanding the music that you play and everything else. And, one of the things that we haven't really talked about yet, you guys, is that DJ Romeo is also a barber. Right? Like, so
as long as I've been cutting,
as long as you've been DJing. So, we never really heard that story, but honestly, that's kind of how we ended up meeting, was just me going into the barbershop you had on Oasis at 22nd and O Street, where, I first met you and everything. And so, as you all are thinking, you're like, okay, is he just the DJ? No. He's actually barbering most of the day. Mm-hmm. And then at night, that's when he goes and DJs. So tell us about how you got into barbering.
I got into barbering. A buddy of mine, Mazen,
yes,
was a barber.
Yeah.
And I used to just do my own hair. I go down to College of Hair Design and get like the curls, the Jerry curl, but I would maintain it myself and cut my own sides. Well, then Mazen went to hair school, and I would go down there, and he was about a year or two older than me in high school. Yeah. So he went to Lincoln High as well.
Okay.
So we kept that friendship, but rekindled it once he went to hair school. And then he went to JJ's.
Okay.
And you remember Mr. JJ?
Yes.
Which is another barber mentor of mine. And he said, if you go to school, man, we could just open up our own shop, because JJ was just doing straight fades and busy, very busy doing, he was doing ladies' hair, and we just wanted high top fades and designs.
Gotcha.
Right. We want the Kid and Play era.
Right. You guys just like the early 90s, like late 80s, early 90s. And,
right. We want to facilitate all those haircuts.
For sure.
Relaxers.
Right.
Finger waves, all that stuff. We was doing all that. So that's how I got into barber. And our very first barbershop was on 27th and Y Street.
Okay. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
And there was a record store.
A record store in the back, in the mix, records and tapes.
Yes.
Always
shout out to Kenny Johnson.
Shout out to Kenny, man. Kenny was just you talking about guerrilla marketing. Like,
I know.
He used to flyers in hand. Hey, we're throwing this party. He had DJ Cool. He had 112 down.
Seriously.
In the barbershop.
In the shop. Wow.
This is crazy.
So 27th and Y, I actually lived not too far from there for a little bit. You remember I lived on Apple Street. And so that's the same spot. Wow. So you guys had your shop there. You had a record store.
In the back.
Man. And so, and again, you guys, this is where, music is actually like breaking. You can't even get it. So being able to like come into this space and have the music and have the culture of the barbershop, that's a big deal, right?
It's huge.
Big.
Huge.
So you barber during the day, and, would you say that, your love for just art in general, because that's the other thing that I know about you is that you are an artist at heart, right? Like you are a creative. You can really build anything you put your mind to. I saw that. You can fix so many different things, but how does it all fit together? And I thought there was a time there that you also like worked at the fairgrounds, right?
Yeah, I was a supervisor of the cleaning crew at the fairgrounds. I was always into, at a young age, and I don't know if it was like being a manager or bossy, but just being very mature at a young age.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was because I was a loner for a long time, right? Just trying to figure out life back then.
Right.
And growing up around grown-ups. And then as I want to say I was about 15 or 16, we got evicted from one of our houses. Dad just, he had, to speed the story up, 4 or 5 boys that he was taking care of at this time, and I was the oldest, so I felt like if I go out on my own, it's one less mouth to feed at the house. And I did that.
Okay. 15, at what age? 15, 16?
About to turn 16, and I moved in with my 19-year-old girlfriend at the time.
Wow.
And lived life.
15,
right?
16. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was just about to turn 16, and her mom worked at the fairgrounds.
Gotcha.
And so very quickly I became a manager, just running around making sure that this building, I'm responsible for making sure that this building is clean.
I see.
And going there and physically, inspecting everything.
Right.
And reporting to her. And at 16, 17, 18, 19 years old.
Wow.
While I'm still DJing.
Right.
And while I'm still trying to figure out this hair thing.
Yes.
It was just
so there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot. Like 3 jobs,
but
right?
I was, and I think, that has to be from my mom, because KB is the same. My brother, KB is the same way. He's a go-getter.
Absolutely. So you guys are just, you're highly motivated. You're ambitious. You can do multiple things at one time. You never just have one thing going on. And honestly, you guys, that's one of the things that instantly made me just want to be closer to DJ Romeo and his brother KB, was just the fact that they always had something going on. And I was like, here getting my degree, in counseling, and at the same time wanting to be a DJ and, wanted to be a rapper. I want to do a little bit of everything.
I was going to ask you about your rap career too.
Yeah. No, it's not a secret, but it's kind of like a secret, but as far as just what you guys were doing and how you were in the absolute flow of the culture at the time, and how you all were really, you were wearing the newest clothes.
Yep.
You were playing the newest music. You were in the hot spots and everything else. And I just wanted to be close to that. So, and it's just interesting as you talk back to, being age 15, 16, taking this leap and having to move out the house and really feeling like you were doing a favor to not only your dad, but all the rest of those kids who were there, because you're taking up less of the resources. And here you are getting a job at that young age, being a manager, kind of thrust into that responsibility and living on your own, kind of being like adulting at 15, 16. And when we look at our kids, we think about 15, 16, like having to, what adulting would look like. It probably wouldn't be very pretty, right?
Right.
So, but at the same time, you were able to make it all work and continue to move forward. And so we kind of jump back a little bit just to talk about your barber career, a little bit more context about your time in Lincoln. But now as we kind of jump back to the radio station, talk to us a little bit more about, again, now you're really honestly, you're one of the biggest DJs in the club scene in Nebraska at this time. And we're talking early 2000s, kind of like 2005, 6 and everything else. Tell us about the continuation of that journey and how that then, eventually turns into you doing what you're doing now, right? Yeah. So tell me about that evolution.
That was amazing. So height of the career, I'm DJing every bar, DJing all the gigs and getting, side gigs as well.
Yeah.
Shortly after the radio station did a format change, they gave me a job as a board operator, and I'm not that.
Right.
That's like grounding someone that,
it is. It's like you're a fighter pilot, then you're working air traffic control. You're like, wait a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, thank you. And I actually moved to Omaha at one point because I was commuting all the time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So to be closer to the scene, Nico's at that time was right around the corner from my house.
Right.
So I'm DJing all of the hottest spots.
Yes.
Getting all of the gig sponsorships, free clothing.
Yes.
I used to sell clothes too back in the day. Chess King was the name of the place. But so I had all the name brand stuff.
Yes.
Then they had a format change. So that right there.
And format change meaning they changed the kind of music that they played pretty consistently.
Like I said, from number one hip hop and R&B to just poppy.
Yes.
Gavin DeGraw, like I said, that type of stuff. And I wasn't feeling that. There's no way I could mix that type of stuff and put my heart into it without it just being commercial,
right?
Too much. So I then switched back to Lincoln, and said, you know what, I'm just gonna start a small mobile music service, see where it goes. I put my name out there, and instantly before that, me and Montez before we actually I quit the radio station. We were doing free high school dances.
Yeah.
Do you remember this at all?
I do.
There was these free the high school would tell you why they want you to be their DJ and MC.
Right.
We would go do the show.
Yep.
And then I got a lot of feedback from that. High schools, Syracuse being one of them, to say, hey, we want you to come do our thing. I'm like, it's not free anymore. And they're like, we don't care. We want you to do it. So then weddings and corporate events and things like that start coming along. So because of the radio and being popular on there, that kind of got me into the realm that I was in.
Absolutely.
In 2013 or 14, US Figure Skating calls the radio station, which still is my program director. Now I don't work there anymore at this point.
Gotcha.
But because of, like you said, the relationships that you build, they thought, hey, we want to have a DJ to just do some loud background noise on a Sunday, one-time deal.
Yeah.
It's a championship. I think it might have been Skate America or something at that time.
Yeah.
Eric J called. He was like, hey, I got the perfect person for you. Call this number.
Yeah.
Boom. And they call. And I'm talking to Kevin Leonardo, which was my program director for US Figure Skating.
Yeah.
And he's running me through it. It was a Thursday. He was like, got this meeting up in Omaha. Can you make it? Yes, I made it. Boom. And he's running me through all these things. Okay, you're going to be over here. NBC's going to be here. And and
you're like, wait a minute.
Still NBC, not like programming.
Like, what is this? How big? Yeah, right.
This thing is going to be.
TV.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, wait a minute. This is going to be on TV? He's like, yeah. Your guy didn't tell you what this was about. I just didn't get it.
Right.
And did the show. It was a Sunday.
It
was.
Was it in Omaha?
It was in Omaha.
Okay.
It would have been the Quest Center at the time. The CHI Health now.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing show.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Hey, we want you to go to Boston. The next time. It might have been April. Call my manager, and she's like, "That's the only weekend you have available."
Wow.
So yeah, we'll take it. So I do the show. The MC at the time, the in-house arena, Rusty Cath, he goes, if they like you,
they'll
just send you on the road with you all over the country, wherever you want to go.
Wow.
So 14 years later, I'm still doing it. I'm the official DJ for U.S. Figure Skating Champions.
So, and just, I'm just going to kind of make an assumption here, but grew up in St. Louis, came to Lincoln, barbering, a little bit of DJing. I don't recall hearing anything about figure skating. Do you have any background in figure skating?
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to make any assumptions, but I figured, you've done a lot of things.
Hey,
you had a clothing store, you had a rap career, maybe you did some figure skating, So
it's a figure skate on the side of pickup basketball games.
Exactly. So just, first and foremost, it's just interesting to hear about how that all came together. Because again, and this is one of the themes, you guys, as you're listening out there, as I've talked to people on this show, one of the central components has always been the importance of relationships and maintaining good, positive, intentional relationships. And so what I want you all to do is I want you to think about, if someone had to think of someone special for something, would they think of you? And I just want you to, if someone had to think of someone special to do something, if someone said, I need someone special to do this, and would somebody think of you? And why would you be the first person to creep into that person's consciousness? I want you to think about that, because it's so important to be someone who someone thinks of when people are looking for someone special, right?
Right.
And this individual was looking for someone special, and you said Eric J was like, I got the guy for you, right? Because he knew that you show up, you do what you're needing to do, you're professional, you are just, like I said, you're a very warm person to be around, you know how to follow directions, and you're a very technically sound mind person, right? So, but honestly, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about figure skating. Okay. Yeah. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know anything. So what kind of music are you like playing at these events?
So it's usually high energy, poppy.
Yeah.
But and this is why I love it too, is because when I went into it, they said, just do what you do.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that looked like.
Right.
I remember having a dream one time, or just praying that I want to be a rapper on a big stage.
Yeah.
And when you get blessings, you have to open up your mind to you're getting the blessing. And it may not be exactly how you pictured it.
That's right.
Right. But so I had an epiphany, and then I just thought, I forgot about it. And then one day I woke up as I'm DJing.
Yeah.
Mind you, probably 5 years in, and I was like, oh my God, I'm doing exactly what I prayed about.
That's right.
It doesn't look like a nightclub or a bar or a Ibiza with next to DJ Gutta,
right?
But I'm actually DJing in a room of people that are listening to me do what I do.
Yes.
Well,
absolutely. That's amazing,
right?
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's
you had that moment where you're like, wait a minute. Okay.
I literally had an out of body moment.
And you're like looking at yourself, and there's thousands of people in the arena, and you are setting the tone for the emotion in that space. You're sharing your craft with all those people.
Right.
And you're just like, this is what I wanted.
This is it. And so to give you a story of what a day like that would look like in a figure skating situation. So I don't play their music.
Okay.
I don't do any of the routine music. I may assist, and sometimes they want to choreograph it and then, cut them and help them.
Yep.
Very little with that. But sometimes I'll get some calls and say, hey, can you do this? Or what do you think of this? Or, can you edit this or whatever? But mainly I keep the energy in the room.
I see.
Hype, just like a football game or a basketball game.
Right.
You have a DJ like yourself playing in between breaks and stuff. So for figure skating, they play the music, and someone will say, okay, for instance, Ashley Wagner, woo! So I play music to Skater on Ice.
Yes.
Music goes down. Her routine starts.
I see.
Her routine's done. Boom. Applause.
Yes.
I play music.
You're back in.
There's a video screen with a replay of what she had just done.
I see.
Or he. Or even sometimes, because I do, it's a group. Why am I drawing a blank right now? Just like,
synchronized?
Yeah. I drew a blank on synchronized. Yes, synchronized figure skating too. Yeah. So not just, couples or singles, but US figure skating championship synchronized stuff too. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Just kind of blew up as well.
Yeah.
So then I play that routine, then the score comes on, I turn the music down again, the score goes, and then the next skater.
I see. So you have that format. You kind of set up your crates so that you're prepared. You have some extra stuff. You kind of know, though, that swing of emotion, depending on how things are going, could be up, it could be down a little bit. You just have to manage it, right? And so, but mostly up, right? You
mostly up.
Keep people
Zamboni cleanings. Yeah. You know, you want some dance music. You know. Just get more creative with just the Cupid Shuffle, the cha-cha. You have to play a lot of.
Gotcha.
And I'm hot mixing up there too. Sometimes
that's
it just
awesome.
depends. I mean, you know, every crowd's different
for sure.
You know, from Boston to Kansas City, it's like what. And also, I'd study that crowd.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I study that state.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes in figure skating on the Law of Lift today. You never thought you'd be listening to that on a Saturday, right? As you're headed to where you're going. But we got DJ Romeo in the house today, and we're just loving to hear his story and his journey. So more with DJ Romeo when we come back. You're listening to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Now back to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, we're back. We've got Donnell DJ Romeo in the house today with us. And, we've just been talking about his journey with U.S. figure skating and being their official DJ on a national level. And, it just kind of hit me as we were talking in our last segment that, the dream that most DJs have is just to have access to a wide range of people and their energy and be able to influence that energy and to have a platform and to really do something special and be a part of something special. And you've really checked all those boxes, and, as I think about the grand, the overall spectrum of things, I think of you starting off at those parties at your mom's house as a kid and then kind of ending up being, the person that's setting the tone for national figure skating. And that's amazing. And, like you say, however you find your way into the space, sometimes you look down and you realize, oh my gosh, this is what I've prayed for so long. And, so that's amazing. And I really appreciate you talking about that and just how special that is when we can fully realize our potential, get to where we're going, and then recognize it in the moment, because sometimes you don't recognize it. Right. And so, but you were just kind of, talking earlier about just being the DJ that sets the tone for things. You kind of have your format that you follow and everything. So nowadays, how often are you DJing for U.S. figure skating? How often do you need to do that?
I do it about 4 to 5 times a year. My week, it looks like a week. It's about a week long.
Okay.
Usually I'll go out on a Wednesday or Thursday, just depending on where it's at. And if it's a national championship or Skate America, or, if we're dealing with a different entertainment company or something.
Right.
Sometimes there's times where I need to go out earlier to practice with this new company.
I see.
When I say entertainment company, like there's a lot of different things that are going on, like lighting and today with social media. So that they have a social media team.
I see.
That goes out, that is on the same, probably on the same platform as the lighting people. And then you have your show caller, and then you have stage managers, and then I fit in there too. Like, okay, you're still going to do the music
right
at this time, and we're going to do this, because just a DJ. So first on, it was just a DJ, in-house announcer, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to fill 12 hours in between these things.
Wow.
Now they have an entertainment company that comes along that does it. And by the way, I think he does it for, I want to say, oh, don't get me lying, I can't remember, because it was my first year with him this last year. The Bulls, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, they do some huge jumbotron stuff and social media things. And
so it's the company that works with the Bulls, and does kind of all their in-game stuff.
Yeah, they come in and it was amazing.
Yeah. And it really added an extra layer of excitement to things.
Just trying to get to know everything about what they were doing, and also try to figure out how I was going to fit in and play the music. At that time, and I still had a lot going on too. So my capacity for learning everything about them, I wanted to, but then I'm learning. There's probably 12 people that were just thrown at me that weekend.
Yeah. And
I really like to talk to them more about all the stuff but I do know that they're a production team that do big shows that started, and to keep the entertainment
for sure
value fresh. And this was a national championship, so you want it to be big. I mean, they put lights on the lower bowl around. You ever see like the lights around the hockey?
Yes.
Promo stuff.
Yes.
Like there's promo down. It was just amazing.
That's awesome. So they've continued to, expand. They've continued to develop and grow, honestly, because nowadays it's all about content, right? You have to generate content. And so they're likely doing interviews with the people afterwards, having them do some fun stuff and, mixing
games,
it up.
They the Jumbotron games and, trivia stuff and timing with that too. So, on top of just being a DJ, I used to do some fashion shows to understand production and timing and things like that, which also helped with figure skating.
Yeah.
So it's just it was a lot, and it came secondhand.
Yeah.
It came second nature for me to figure out how to do the timing. In school, I did a little bit of acting.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I understood timing and things like that. And
And that's one of the things that I always noticed is just your ability to work on the microphone. And I think that, people don't understand that a major part of being a DJ, especially back during like, the 80s. And I mean, the whole concept was like you had to be a DJ and an MC, right? MC mic controller. Okay. So you had to be able to get the crowd to move and do certain things. And you always had a great voice and a great ability to like channel that energy into the crowd. And I think that translated over to the radio when you were there. Cause like you said, you weren't the main personality on the radio, but whenever they talked to you, you'd have something to say. And you were always kind of one of the cooler people to hear from on the radio as you were talking about this new song or whatever.
Right.
And then that's now translated. Have you ever then talked with people on the figure skating side of things? Have you ever been kind of on the air in that way? Like they're like, hey, DJ, what's going on? Or have they brought you in that way yet?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes. I actually have a couple different articles that were written.
Nice.
Because, first of all, being the only DJ.
Yes.
And then being the only African-American DJ.
I see.
And I don't know if you noticed.
Is figure skating, I mean, are there a lot of African-American people in figure skating?
Not a lot.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. That's another thing.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So, yeah, being intrigued by that. And how'd you navigate your way through this and get to this level?
Yes.
Developing those relationships and being good at what you do.
Absolutely.
And knowing the right people.
That's right.
And being able to execute when you get there. So
you have to execute when you get there.
I did all those things.
That's amazing. So, when I think about, just the journey that you've been on and kind of the different places that you've gotten to go with DJing and everything, that is every DJ's dream. Every DJ's dream is that somebody would call you up and say, hey, I'm going to pay for you to fly out here. I'm going to take care of all your expenses. And all I need you to do is what you're the best at, which is play music. And of course, there's a lot of planning and everything that goes into it. But when you do it time and time again, you start to understand it more, it stays fresh. But I think that's every DJ's dream and every entertainer's dream. If you get into the industry, is just that somebody's going to cover all your expenses and bring you out because of who you are and what you bring to the table when it comes to the talent. Right. And so you've been there, you've been doing it now. You said 14 years? 13 years
for figure skating, about 14 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And so, as you think about what's happening right now in that realm, what's next for you as far as DJing within that space of USA figure skating?
Well, I don't know if I should talk about it now because I don't really have the contract signed.
That's okay. Big
things are coming.
Big things are coming.
Big things are coming.
Outstanding.
Think international. Let's just say that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So once again, another level up,
level up, yeah.
And, flying business class over to wherever,
yeah.
Right? And just having that opportunity to continue, growing in that way. So, Donnie, like I said, it's just, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you're listening to the Law of Lift, you're enjoying your Saturday. You're listening to Donnie DJ Romeo Jones here on the radio, local guy. Names. That's a lot of names.
Yeah,
didn't put the other one in there.
Right.
But you're listening to his story. You're listening to how he started out, came to Lincoln, really found his way being here in this space. And I always love the historical context of things. And so when I think about you being born in '69. The year after the very turbulent year of '68 and all the things that were happening in our country, and then kind of roll into the '70s, the disco and all that. And then you're in the '80s and you're kind of like in the golden era of music, in my opinion, being born in 1980. I think the '80s were a wonderful time for music. And you're playing music when DJs are honestly just now fully coming onto the scene as an artist, right? And doing all these things. And then you get to the radio. Now you're doing the figure skating thing. When you look back on it and you look back on your journey, what do you think you now would have said to that young you that had just gotten here that's trying to find your way? How would you provide comfort to that kid?
That's a good question. I guess I never really even thought of a question such as that, but stay the path.
Yeah.
Stay the path. Trust yourself, because sometimes early on you have naysayers that are like, man, I've had someone tell me this too. Why don't you get a real job?
Yeah.
Someone very close to me at that time,
right,
telling me that I need to get a real job because DJing isn't going to make enough money to pay the bills.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure it out. And I just stayed true to myself. I just kept on being persistent.
Yes.
And the money came. right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I used to work sometimes twice a day on the radio. So I'd work on the radio Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I would work on the radio, and then Wednesday night. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'd work twice a day.
Gotcha.
Once on the radio, and then at night, any nightclub.
Right.
Busting my butt for $300. And then someone said, why don't you charge more and work less, but do those gigs that that pay more,
right? Like the corporate stuff, the weddings, right? Like,
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you be my manager then? You know what I'm saying? That's how that came about. Because I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I just want to work.
That's right.
I wasn't thinking, you know, it takes.
You're not thinking of the economics. You're just,
and it takes business people to come into your life to say, listen, I can capitalize on your time. I can make your time more valuable to you.
Yes.
If you trust me. That's why I say trust yourself and trust the process.
Yes.
And to have someone say, let's go to the table, let's set these contracts up. The people that are out there will pay this amount of money if you have it on paper.
Yes, absolutely.
So go get your LLC, go get licensed, get into the business world. Let me do that part.
Right.
You don't even need to know this part. Just trust me on this. And if you want a lawyer involved so that things are legal, then do that part.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I've been very fortunate to not ever get burned on that side of the contractual things because the people around me are really good.
And I think I might know who you're talking about, who's your manager.
Yeah, we don't talk about it as much. I mean, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But it's my wife.
That's right. That's right. So shout out to Deb Jones.
To Deb.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. You know, like, I mean, it's amazing to have a wife who's also your manager
for
because
sure.
She's going to make sure that you get a good deal.
She's making sure the money's coming in the
house.
Right?
That's right. That's right. So shout out to Deb.
And the most that you can, you know, making it fair all the way around. So, but early on, she was my girlfriend at the time. And just saying, hey, you could work less and charge what you're worth.
That's right. And you guys, I want you to hear, charge what you're worth. You guys, when you are in the business and you're doing something, you have to have enough respect for yourself to charge decent prices. And this is one of the things that Donnie really taught me early on. And, you know, honestly, just following his lead, I was able to walk away from some places early on in my DJ career that they were just absolutely, you know, not giving me enough money for what I was doing for them. And I think that, you know, it's okay to be hazed a little bit early in the scene, right? Because you're just learning, and what you're learning and honestly what you're gaining is worth way more than what you could get paid. But once you get to a certain point, you have to get what you're worth. I think, you know, we as people that are in an industry where you do a service, you know, honestly, sometimes you just get into this routine of doing something consistently and undervaluing yourself. Right. And eventually you have to be able to step up. And sometimes you do have to reinvent yourself. Sometimes you do have to bring in some new bells and whistles so that people are like, hey, you're different from that other person. Right. But that's one of the things that you really taught me, especially doing some of the corporate events, the weddings and different things like that, was that there's definitely money to be made in the industry, but it does take a lot more planning and execution and professionalism, right? Because just showing up to a business at night and playing for 3-4 hours is different from being the one person who's going to set the tone for a couple to get married, right? Or you have this huge corporate event and you have to make sure that you don't play music that has profanity in it, right? I mean, there's a different level that you get to where you can start to charge more money. But, you know, that's definitely one of the things that you taught. You've consistently, I believe, been one of the higher cost DJs when everything's said and done because of who you are, what you bring to the table, your level of excellence. Honestly, you bring more equipment than anyone I know. So
still,
seriously, like it literally takes you like, you know, an hour to set up, and you're okay with that because you love to like go through the process of, you know, putting on a show. You've always put on a show.
Always.
So
I believe in that. You know, I believe like, especially if they're paying you that amount of money.
That's right.
You want to give them that show, and you want to kind of wow them with A, with technology, or B, with just being the best that you could do.
Yes.
And I always had that type of like, sometimes if I felt like breaking out the mirror ball,
right?
And that's still, people love
a mirror ball.
They love the mirror ball.
Yes.
It's
a disco ball, you guys. That's what we're talking about. Yeah,
it's a little bit more set up and a little bit time consuming, but just those little attention to details.
Yes.
go a long way.
They do. And that's one of the things that I have just truly enjoyed about you from the very beginning. You taught me how to set up professionally. You said, don't just leave your cords on the floor.
Aesthetics.
Aesthetics. Yeah. It's all about how you present yourself, what you put out there. And, again, as I think about my own progression as a DJ, and, for a little while there, I actually played at the basketball games. And so I'd play for the Huskers, the basketball team. And like you said, there's just these moments when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm playing for like 10,000 people right now. I always wanted to do this. And how did you get there? And kind of what is it all about? And so we continue to, talk through just DJ Romeo's journey. And as we kind of close everything up, we're going to wrap everything up here and send some additional shout outs and stuff. But it's been so awesome to have DJ Romeo on the show today. And you're listening to The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters and DJ Romeo on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rollouts has been an trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rollouts will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rollouts make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Now back to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. You are back. We're back. The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. I have DJ Romeo in the house today. And, we've just been having a great conversation today. We've been talking a lot about his journey, his evolution, his opportunities that, have really been transformational over the course of his life and all the wonderful things that he's gotten the chance to do with this most recent opportunity with U.S. figure skating. He's gotten to travel the world, the United States, and possibilities, are endless. And so, Donnie, as we wrap up today, as you look back, and we kind of talked about what you would tell your younger self, you'd say, stay the course, believe in your talents, believe in your ability to connect with people and everything else. But I believe that you just earned a new title recently, right? You just earned a new title, right?
I did.
What is that title? And, some people call themselves something different, but what is your newest title that you've earned?
Papa.
Oh, that's awesome. So your daughter had a child, right?
Yeah.
And so, as you're now thinking about that next generation, and everything else, I mean, what are some lessons that you hope, not only your kids, but also, your kids' kids, your grandkids, can take from your story and your journey?
Well, given this climate and everything that's going on, I just still say, the power of a smile, right?
Yes.
The way that you interact with people.
Yeah.
So one thing I would really like to instill, and I tell you, all my kids have it, is they can talk to anyone on the street.
That's awesome.
In any realm.
Yeah.
Right. So just be a good person.
Yeah.
Be kind, be generous.
Yes.
Say hi to people. If I can instill that into them, that's probably the best.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really great advice. And, that's one of the things that I've always noticed about you is that there's nobody that's not a friend of yours. And a lot of people. You've been in so many different spaces that people know you. They know that you're a kind person. You have a very good, positive reputation, and you're just a person who, people can count on. And so, as I think about your journey and as I just, got the chance to talk to you today and hear more about your background and everything else, it's just really amazing to know how things started and how things quickly changed for you when you were younger and how you got here to Nebraska and really started to find your niche. And then you were able to grow and develop. You grew up pretty fast, and I didn't know, I've forgotten about moving out around 15, 16 and just being on your own, but then always being a person who's worked hard, looked for multiple opportunities to make a living, right? And just always tried to connect the dots. And I think, as I've watched you from afar, to be honest, and early on, way closer, when I was rolling to some of the different places with you and helping out. But as kind of time has gone by and I've got my own family and kind of moved on and everything, it's just always been neat to reconnect with you.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it's funny. What's it like for you when you kind of hear the intro of the show, Dr. Lawrence Chatters, when we met and I was some little nerdy kid that walked into the barbershop, you know? What does that mean to you?
I mean, you know, it just makes me so proud because every now and again, especially with the things that you've done too, I always made it a point to say how proud I am of you.
Yeah, and I appreciate
in certain things that you were doing throughout your career. I'm like, dude, I'm so proud of you. I love that you do that.
Yeah.
And with this Dr. Lawrence Chatters, man, I'm like, I am honored.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's just great to be in your company as well. So thank you. Oh, mind you, when I was going through all that at 15, 16, I was still in school. I put myself through school. So just again, stay in the course.
Yes.
Just because I was out running the streets or whatever didn't mean I didn't get up and go to school.
That's right. You still handled your business and you graduated
on time.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Right.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So yeah.
And again, that's another one of those things. It's like, again, you might have multiple things going on, but you still got to handle your business. You got to handle your business. You got to handle your business. So finishing school, having that diploma, being able to like move on to whatever the next step was in your life where you were working. You also went to barber school and graduated there.
Finish your project. Finish it.
Absolutely. Finish it. And, you know, it's just been neat to hear about your journey and the story of, you know, how you have taken your talents and now you're able to share those talents with thousands and thousands of people across the country, across the world, people who are tuning in. And, you know, it's really exciting to think about what the future holds. And, you know, the other thing that I've also learned from you is just the importance of giving back. I mean, ever since, you know, the beginning of the free barber, back to school haircuts and stuff like that, you've always been around. You've always been willing to like lend your talents and your time to make sure that people have what they need. So, you know, just as we kind of wrap up here and everything, you guys, I just want to make sure that you are fully understanding of the reasoning behind this show. This show is about presenting to you the stories of people who are inspirational across, you know, the community, people in the community that are making a difference, people who have unique backgrounds and stories. And I just really, truly enjoy bringing you those stories on a weekly basis because, you know, honestly, it's just a wonderful opportunity to hear about something, a perspective that you may have never heard about, and to hear someone's story and their journey and maybe be able to connect those pieces to your own personal journey and understand that other people have had to overcome things. And so as you get the opportunity to listen to the Law of Lift, I encourage you to tell somebody else about the Law of Lift and listening to this show every Saturday from 12 to 2. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you in here today, DJ Romeo. And, you know, you're definitely a mentor of mine, someone who I look up to, and, you know, you're just a special person in my life. And it's awesome that I got to spend this time with you on my show. So thank you so much for coming.
And thank you as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, I hope you lift off. You've been listening to The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket. Have a wonderful weekend.